I've never played with this card. It doesn't seem very good, but I hear some players talking about it has potential. You can see it only costs 0. However, it only pitches for 2. If you've never seen this card and you're a brand new player or even a seasoned competitive veteran, don't feel bad. It's definitely considered an off-meta card. For those of you who don't know it, I'm going to let you read it, but the important thing is you name an action card, and we're basically going to open up a pack of Flesh and Blood until we get that chosen card. Now, since I'm bad at the game, this action card, I'm actually going to name a resource card. I'm going to name Heart of Fiendel. Now, good thing we have a booster box of Flesh and Blood to test out my theories. To put this rest once and for all, I'm on the fence. I'm on the side that the card is not good. But, you know, like I said, I've been hearing other players say differently. So we're going to prove them wrong. And even if we don't open anything good in this pack here, I still have some goodies at the end of the video that guarantee at least we're going to go bananas a little bit. So, you know, I've opened a couple boxes. I know there's a lot of box videos out there. I'm actually not really going to focus on the unimportant ones. So we're going to kind of go straight to the foils. I actually don't remember if the foil comes before the super rare slots. So here's our super rare and a foil pack hunt. Not very exciting. Common foil. But Mugenshi Release, always a great card. Ninja is a great class. Of course, we got our little tokens, and I'm sure, like me, you have probably 300 that you're never going to use. Maybe you can like use it as decorations on your Christmas tree. And Goliath Gauntlet. Wow, cold foil already. I was actually really hoping for this one, to be honest. I am a huge lover of these cold foils. Even the common ones, specifically the common ones that are played, the Iron Rod I'm not so keen on. But even though it's a common, you know, a cold foil is rare in of itself, and regardless if you're a collector, you know, I'm not in this for collectability and financial reasons. I'm in this because I think the art is cool, and primarily because it's a great game. So that's really exciting for me. I was actually really hoping for this. I almost traded for one of these before, but he was asking more than I was, more than I wanted, so... And I know we get one of those about once a box. In my very first box, I opened up a regular foil. Cold foil. I opened up a legendary Fiendel Spring Tunic, and I actually got a second cold foil. Granted, it was a Iron Rod Gauntlet. But I just wanted to put that out there because there's this... You know, some people don't understand that the estimates of a box, they're only estimates. So while there's roughly an estimated 1 cold foil per box, that's not the case really. So we got our Energy Potion as a rare, and is that a foil Steel Blade Shunt? No, the foil is after. That is our Buckling Blow. Common foil, nothing exciting. And bear with me on my performance. This is my first box opening. I never planned on doing this. The only reason, to be completely honest with you guys, is that my favorite speed game, Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64, the 120 star record, which is also known as 100% category, getting every single objective you can in the game, was just beaten earlier today by one of my favorite streamers. I'm not too good at the game speedrunning myself, but I'm a huge fan. So I got really inspired to, celebrate one of my favorite runners. His name is Simply. Just got the 120 world record star, and that's a huge deal. It is the most prestigious speedrunning game. So of course, you know, totally off topic to Flesh and Blood. This is the only reason. I have a real hard time in opening these boxes without getting play out of them. Unfortunately, while I live in the Bay Area, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area, there is no Flesh and Blood. But even before lockdown, the closest store that was hosting Flesh and Blood events was 1.5 hours south from me. And I was, like many of us, planning on going to the Fluster Fist and Wounding Blow as their foil common. Of course, I know a lot of us are planning on going to that in March, the Arcane Rising pre-release. Almost all of us could not attend. But what I was getting at, part of another reason I'm opening this box is I won't have anyone to play with for a while. I do have the intention of working with some local game stores in the Bay Area. I'm really happy with that. I read a foil flick flack. Foil rares, foil commons, which may not be a lot to some people. I think they're very valuable to me or rares disable. Because I think it's really fun to foil out a deck, but I don't like to break the bank. So I like to get foil rare and common staples. I think that's fun. They look just as good as the extra expensive Enlightened Strike foils, what have you. But in my eyes, they're not necessary. I love a pretty deck. I don't need a deck that costs a ton of money. So we got a rare Potion of Strength and a rare Blackout Kick and a foil Nimble Strike. Now, I actually don't play any decks of Nimble Strike. I think red is the best one, but who's to know? Now, if you haven't already done so, don't feel bad if you want to fast forward to the end of the video when I can actually edit it. And I will show all the yummy goodies from this box. You don't have to sit through my rambling. Sweet, there's our first mythic. We got a Bloodbrush Bellow. And for those who aren't aware, this little M right here is Majestic. That is the third highest rarity. Great cards. And our foil is something I'm very happy about, Warrior's Valor. I'm personally building Warrior. You usually run 9 of these. These are kind of the Warrior card. Having them in foil, they're not expensive like I was talking about before, and they look great in your deck. Foil Snatch, rare Snatch, rare Overpower, and a Savage Swing common. Foil Brute, unfortunately, it's just not my card. It's just not going to be my deck. Nothing against it. I can just tell it's not my play style. So anything that's Brute I open is immediately not going to be played by me. Hopefully I'll be able to find local players that are interested in Brute. Or it's all for trade. So I'm really looking for foil, Ninja, and Warrior. Fluster Fist Blue, I wonder if that's good because Ninja likes blue. 0 cost cards for their weapons. And make sure, pretty Drinthia. And fun fact, for those of you who didn't watch the interview with Chris Gooley on his 7 Days of Flesh and Blood series. He interviewed the creator, James, of this game, Flesh and Blood. Oh, sorry, what was I going to say? I completely forgot. I had a fun point about that. Oh, Dorinthia is the name of James's grandmother. That is why her name is Dorinthia. Foil common, Awakening Bellow. Man, I just have so many. The ratio of foils I've gotten, like I said, I don't play Brute. The ratio of common rares and common or foil common rares brutes is just so disproportionate. It's ridiculous. So I hope I can trade, you know, find someone who's keen on brute rares and common foils. And we can make a little trade for some, you know, like I said, which I love, is those common and rare staple foils. Warrior's Valor is our rare. Gosh, I wish that was a foil. Our foil is a red Pummel, which is not too great. So, yeah, 2 rares and a foil common. Pummel's a nice card. Yellow, I'm not sure how much it's actually played, but could be a good card. And if you're like me, I've noticed that there's been no Heart of Fiendel so far. Pretty disappointing if you ask me. Savage Feast is our rare. Overpower, what a lame rare. Scour the Battlescape, what a lame common foil. So far we have 1 super, we have 1 mythic. It's very possible I've missed one, but like I said, at the end of the video, you can fast forward if you don't want to deal with all this rambling. Gosh, I wish I could get a cold foil of that in this. Rare Breakneck Battery, rare Flick Fleck. Hey, a Scab Skin Leathers. That is great. I have never seen one in person. I'm actually been looking at the camera this entire time. So give me a second to oogle at this with you with my bare eyes. Oh, and that is just gorgeous. You know, I found it funny that these not only block for 2, but they have Battle Sworn 2 instead of Blade Break like the Ninja Legendary has, where you can only block with it once and it totally breaks. Look at this art. It looks like he's wearing the leather hide of an animal he killed months ago, and yet it has such great armor, and it looks to me like it's such weak armor. So just a small detail that I'm going to nitpick, and I think that's funny. So we have opened our legendary for the box. In my ratio, I've opened 3 boxes so far. I've gotten 2 legendaries. I am so lucky. I got a Heart of Fiendels on my very first box. That is no joke. My very first box, hardly when I even knew how to play the game. Now what I was going to say is, even since we drew our 1 legendary, the rough estimates, like I said, rough estimates, as you can see, I've broken the rough estimates on 1 out of 4 boxes, you will get a legendary. I've opened 3 boxes, I've gotten 2 legendaries. That is not hard and fast. I've heard of people opening 8 cases and not getting legendaries. 8 cases would be 8 times 4, 32 boxes. And it is possible, I have heard, that you can get more than 1 legendary in a box. You can even get a Fabled card as well as a legendary in the same box. Foil common, you know, whatever we get from here on, it's cool with me. I'd really love some Warrior and Ninja staples like this card in Snatch. It's a rare. If I could get that in foil, that would be sweet. Beggars Can't Be Choosers. I already made, you know, essentially my money back. This goes for about $60 to $75. You know, where a box costs $75. Staunch Response with a lame rare. Super rare. Last ditch effort. I already have 2. I'm going to hold on to 3 in my competitive decks just because usually you only need 2 of them, it seems like. It's so rare that you actually come to this point if you have no cards in your deck. Are you kidding me? How often does that come up in Constructed? And it costs 3. The reason it's played is it blocks for 3 as well. And we got a foil common, Stonewall Confidence. I've gotten a ton of these foil commons. Guardian and Brute are the classes I'm not playing. I'm only building Warrior and Ninja. Out of all the commons, the majority has been Brute and Guardian for some weird reason. And a second mythic. That's great. Okay, so far we got 2 mythics and 1 legendary, 2 supers, and a foil red head jab. That's very nice. That's very nice. That's finally one of the staple common foils that I'm talking about that makes your deck look so nice. And, you know, if you do want to bling out your deck on a budget, it's not going to cost you that much. Now, of course, we're only opening this deck, this box of cards, is because we're seeing if Go Bananas it could be competitively viable in this meta. I think that the Dash Pistol deck and the several iterations really hinder the potential for this card. Go Bananas, so far I'm not sold. God, I really wish I could get foil Steelblade Shunt. Foil red Nimble Strike, that's at least good for somebody. I don't play any decks that have Nimble Strike, unless Ninja, you can argue. I think I've seen it, so maybe I'll hold on to it. Nothing special here, of course. It's all just commons and rares mixed up. I just want cold foils. Can I have multiple cold foils in the pack? I wish it was a blue, just one of the other 2 immovables. Yellow seems to be the least played. So that's so unfortunately unexciting. Where's our stinky yellow? Now, while I've been lucky on the ratio of not only opening a Tunic in my very first box, and being 2 for 3 out of my legendaries in box to legendary ratio, I'm unlucky in that I've never opened a super rare foil or a mythic foil. So, woe is me, common foil, generic. Probably will never play this card. Woe is me, as you can see. We are down to our last 4 packs. You know, the odds of getting a eye or a Heart of Fiendel is so slim with these 4 packs. So, while we got a Scabskin Leathers, it's not like I was going to call for that because I don't play Brute. So, you know, competitively viable on... That would be sweet if that was another cold foil. Competitively viable... I wish that was foil. That's a nice foil. One of those common foils. So while we've opened a legendary off Go Bananas, it's still very inconsistent, and that's my argument. You know, all these players are saying, but you can pull a win out of nowhere. Well, can you though? Red Sink below. Staple. Would love that in foil. Refraction bolters. God, I wish all these were cold foils. Super rare. Foil super rare. That's great. Oh, what a pretty super rare. You can't really even see his face here. You can see it so much clearer in the non-foil version. But that's okay, because it really accentuates the sunlight, blocking out the darkness. So that's cool. That's my first foil super rare I've ever pulled. And we got 2 super rares. Don't forget the route, which I don't need any more of. Don't forget the route as our second super rare in the single pack. That's pretty fun. Okay, we're down to our last 2. I'm still, call me a pessimist. I think that Go Bananas is not going to be good in the current meta. I don't think it's consistent enough. Red movable, this is what we need in foil. Someone trade me there for a yellow one because they feel so bad about me. Because this is, a red Sigil of Solace. Okay, no joke. I'm actually more happy than a lot of opening this over a lot of super rares. This is great. This is a red Sigil is going to be, hopefully it's a staple for a long time. Definitely a staple in the current competitive meta currently. So that's a great foil. All right, we are on to our very last pack. For the believers, shut up. I'm gonna prove you wrong. There's no way that we're actually going to open the card that we called. Look, another Sigil. I already have them though. I only want foil. Do you see that foil? Virgin Beatdown. Hey, I'm actually very happy with that as a common foil. And Warrior and Ninja are going to my main decks from Welcome to Wraith. I don't care about Brute and Guardian. So what am I gonna do with this stinking Scabskins leather? If I roll a 6, maybe I won't throw it off the balcony for my neighbor's dog as a frisbee, but other than that, if I roll a 4 below, it's definitely going off. Final verdict on this card, I'm not sold. It doesn't attack. There's no attack value. It doesn't block for anything. It is an instant. It obviously does not take any action points. Pitches for yellow, argue blue. My biggest gripe with it is that it costs 0. But what a lot of players don't talk about is there's a hidden cost of about $75 MSRP US to play this card. So it's cheap to play in the game, in terms of your resources and what you start with. $75 USD MSRP might be a lot for you. So I give this card close to a 2 out of 10. I do not think it's going to see play in the competitive meta. Fun card though. Let's see what we got for the box. Let's have some redeeming qualities. Let's start off with our mythics. Steelblade Supremacy, I will be trading this. Blood Rush Bellow, like I said, I don't want to touch Brute with a 10-foot pole, so I'm probably just going to throw this away. We got 4 super rares. Mugenshi Release, Route, I don't need any more. Last Ditch Effort, I like the little ghouls. That's probably the happiest and only reason that I like this card from pulling it. We got our foil super rare, and that's the last determination I need for my warrior deck, so I'm very happy about that. Now onto our regular foils. Oh, real quick, our cracked baubles. For anyone who's watching this video, cracked baubles are as rare, if not more rare, than mythics. They only average, like I said, these averages are only estimates. They average around 2 to 3 bucks. That's as much as about a mythic. So for anyone who's watching, I'll give you a good rate. I will trade you 2 of these cracked baubles for, I'm pretty generous. I'll trade them for most any mythic. So yeah, in the comments, please, if you're interested, you can direct message me. We'll get that covered. Our cold foils, the art on this is so cool. Goliath Gauntlet. Generic, so you do see it used, I believe, in Guardian. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you see it in dash decks and decks that play Command and Conquer, because this can really boost up your Command and Conquers for free. Yes, it doesn't block for anything, but you can have big blowout turns, and it just looks very pretty as a cold foil. Now, our second cold foil, like I said, breaking that one cold foil per box ratio, we just got 2. So call us, lucky, call me, whatever you will. Scab Skin Leathers. I'm not going to use this. I'm probably throwing it out with the Blood Rush Bellow. It's more just, it looks nice on camera. I'm keeping the Gauntlet though. Now onto our foils. I'm starting off with only the nice foils. Sigil of Solace, you remember me getting excited. Red Flick Fact, that's great. Sharpened Steel, that's really only good for me. Head Jab, same thing. I'm going to use that in my Ninja. Warrior's Valor, very pretty. Nimble Strike, I don't know. I don't play it, but I'm going to sell it for probably $20 and try to get my money back. And then just, I'll go through this shaft, as they say. It's not very good. And stick around. I'm about to open some guaranteed swag for those of you who have endured through this awful rambling from someone who's never made a video in their life before. Now, like I said, I am a huge fan of cold foils. So I'm going to show you my little cold foil collection. These Mage Master boots are arguably one of the least exciting cold foils. They're very subtle. Obviously, the camera does not do it justice. My lighting is nowhere near professional. I am filming on an iPhone. But they still look great nonetheless. You'll see this card in decks that are running Tome of Fiendel, because if you're playing it from your arsenal or from wherever, you're going to draw 2 cards. You're going to just pay 1 extra, and you're going to draw those 2 cards with Go Again. It's very strong. Breaking Scales, this is the Ninja Cold Foil. Absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I think that I'm not a collector. I just appreciate having shiny, cheap pieces. Like I said, I'm not a huge, rare, high-end card. I think these cold foils are just not only gorgeous, but I do actually believe that they'll hold value because they're rare. They're about arguably less than 1 a box. Now on to the beautiful legendary cold foils. For those who have not seen it, obviously these guys are going to look so much different in person. For those of you who have, you can agree. But gosh, this is so pretty. Now we got our first legendary generic. There was a discussion today on why is this card so expensive, and it's because it potentially, obviously you have to be less life than your opponent, but it'll potentially block you 3 damage over the course of the game. And with cards like Dominate, with card effects as Dominate, this gets around that, of course. Now we got our Mask of Momentum. I thought it was funny that really only the mask is the cold foil part, obviously other than the outlining on any cold foil, but really the only shiny part on the mask is the mask itself. I was a little disappointed, to be honest, to see this in person. Great art, but I'd love to see more of it foiled out. Now, this is my pride and joy. Some of you are going to be maybe not believe me. This was open on my very first pack, or very first booster deck, booster box. This is open on my 12th pack. I was only gonna open half a deck, half a booster box in one night, and I opened this beauty on my 12th pack. I was so happy. So what a great way to get in Flesh and Blood. I was so fortunate to open this on my first.